Nick here, and today I want to show you a fun, easy, and melodic fingerpicking exercise. This can be played on either acoustic or electric guitar, and I'm using a thumb pick, but you could do it without a thumb pick as well. Now, if you're used to playing with a flat pick and want to try to start fingerpicking, this would be a great exercise to work on your right hand with to start out. So what we're doing here, at first you want to try to stick to certain parameters of what we're playing before you branch out with all the different variations that an exercise like this can have. We'll start off with our shapes that we're playing with the left hand, and these are just going to be major and minor third shapes, basically diatonic thirds in the key of E major, and we're playing them on the third and fourth strings, and the first and second strings are going to be open. They're going to ring out on top like a drone, and I think that's really what gives this exercise this sort of nice melodic sound. It's nice to have that drone there. So the shapes that we'll have will be, and finger-wise, I think you can use anything that works for you. We'll have third string at the first fret, fourth string at the second fret. Next one is third string, second fret, fourth string, fourth fret. Move that up 2 frets for the next one, which is third string, fourth fret, fourth string, sixth fret. Then we have third string, sixth fret, fourth string, seventh fret. Move that up 2 frets for the next one, third string, eighth fret, fourth string, ninth fret. Next one is third string, ninth fret, fourth string, 11th fret. Move that up 2 frets for the next shape, which is third string, 11th fret, fourth string, 13th fret. And then once we get up here, the whole series repeats. We have third string, 13th fret, and fourth string at the 14th fret. And if you want to, and you have more frets, you can keep going up, but for our purposes, I'm just going to stop here, because remember, once you get up 12 frets, everything repeats. So we'll start off down here, and basically we're just going to play through these shapes sequentially from lower on the neck, and then we'll stop up here, but like I say, if you want to keep going, you can. And then we'll work our way back down. Just to start out with, we can play around with the order later. Okay, so what we'll be doing with the right hand that makes this a finger picking exercise is playing 4-note patterns. And we're going to mix up the string order for these different patterns, but the string assignment with our right hand fingers is going to be the same regardless of the order. Our thumb is always going to play notes on the fourth string, index is going to get notes on the third string, middle notes on the second string, and our ring finger will play notes on the first string. So for playing example, strings 4, 3, 2, and 1, we're going to use our thumb, index, middle, and ring for those strings. And that's a good pattern to start out with, is just playing 4, 3, 2, 1 for each of these shapes. Start out slowly if you need to. Okay, and then you can work your way back down. You can use that same pattern. Okay. Let's try another pattern now. Let's do, let's do 1, 4, 3, 2. So 1, 4, 3, 2 will be our pattern. Okay. permutations here. You know, if you wanted to sit down with a piece of paper, you could write them all out. The idea is really not to think about it that way so much as to just kind of experiment with different patterns, because you want to have fun with it and kind of enjoy playing through these melodic shapes here. The next one we could try would be something like 4, 2, 3, 1. Sometimes it's nice once you get to the final shape in the series just to kind of strum it. Let's do the reverse shape now, going back down. So let's see, coming up we played 4, 2, 3, 1, right? So now let's play 1, 3, 2, 4. Oops. And now once we get back to the bottom, we can just kind of strum it. Okay. Let's do 3, 2, 4, 1 now. Now on the way back down, we can try 2, 3, 1, 4. So you can see there are a lot of different variations that you could come up with. You can try playing different patterns on the way up and on the way down. And I think at first it's good just to stick with playing one pattern, you know, all the way through the series and just playing straight through the shapes. And then once you get to the top, you want to work your way back down. Maybe you can change your pattern. You can play the reverse of what you played on the way up or something else. The idea is that you're kind of working through these different right hand patterns, but you're also doing something with your left hand. You're building up coordination, and I think it sounds nice, so that makes it a little bit more fun to play through these rather than some of these exercises where you just play one chord or you're switching between two chords. These shapes sound really nice. They're a lot of fun. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this exercise and that you have fun playing it. It's just meant to get you into finger picking, or if you're already picking, it's just a great way to have a nice melodic sounding exercise. I love these shapes. Sometimes it's fun to just kind of strum the last one, or you can do a finger roll where you kind of play them all at once or roll from the bottom to the top note. Okay, so again, at first, I think you just want to stick to playing one pattern all the way up and another on the way back, and just moving along in a sequential, scale-wise fashion like that from one shape to the next. But after you get used to doing that with different picking patterns, you can branch out a little bit and experiment some with moving the shapes around in a non-linear fashion. And you can also try different shapes, some of which may sound better than others in the context that you're looking for. Okay, so not quite as melodic as just the straight diatonic shapes, but that could be something for you to play around with. Again, part of the idea is to kind of stay interested and not just being bored by a repetitive exercise. you can play around with the picking pattern. Okay, and just kind of make up your own pattern. You can, have more than 4 notes for each grouping. You can vary. You can play, 3 notes, maybe just focus on strings 4, 3, and 2. You may also want to add in, the 5th string. Might sound good with some of the voicings. Same with the 6th string, because we're in the key of E. And, of course, you get into different right hand positions and picking patterns there. So really, we've already at this point come pretty far from the original exercise, which is why at first I think it's good to just kind of stick to 4 strings and running through these shapes in a scale-wise fashion. But after you've done that for a while, feel free to experiment and play around.